Hi, my name's Sue Cooper and I'm absolutely thrilled to be invited by the Positive Empowered Kids Network, Jackie and Claire and others, to speak to you today about the power of conscious parenting. So briefly to introduce myself, I'm Sue Cooper and I am, my background is nursing. I've been a nurse for 40 odd years. It's something that's deeply rooted now, the essence of nursing, which is very much coming to the fore as we're seeing day by day the courage of care and compassion that's shown by not only our nurses but by all people who are stepping forward and bringing their whole self into this world to share their gifts, their skills, and their beauty, their love with others in this time of challenge. So nursing is at the heart of this talk today, and those values of courage, care and compassion. I had a problem about 12 years ago. I had a health problem brought on by extreme stress. And I needed to find another way to be in this world with myself and to be proactive to others. So I started to look at the positive effects of meditation and mindfulness for myself. And I found something which was like, in a way, a magic pill. It took a little while for this magic pill really to embed, because I didn't understand why I was feeling so much better, so much more centered and calm. And of course, the thinking mind needs to understand what these benefits are to be able to actually connect with the deeper essence of the heart. So I went on to become a meditation and mindfulness teacher after probably about, 10 years of meditating. During this time also, my nursing background was telling me that the way that nursing and technology was moving, which is fine, it's really good into a lot of diagnosis technologies, such as the amazing scanners we have now to pinpoint diseases at very early stages, and the whole array of medication that we have now to help us when we're in an acute situation, of guide us back into balance. So all that's fine. So that's the healthcare angle, which is still rooted in holistic well-being. But there's the self-care angle, which is to bring these together. Healthcare and self-care is the work that I'm sharing, the knowledge and the wisdoms that I share over many years of nursing, being a parent, being a daughter, being all these roles that we have. But moving away from all those roles and coming back to find me, the very essence of what makes me tick. And I did that through finding an ancient healing tradition from India called Ayurveda. And one of the major Western pioneers of Ayurveda is a gentleman by the name of Dr. Deepak Chopra. And I decided I need to go and find him, because he's a medical doctor, an endocrinologist, and he teaches about the whole of the nervous system, settling the nervous system down, settling the hormonal system down, and that's the endocrine glands, which brings this amazing immunity into being. So I learnt that, and then I trained to be an Ayurvedic teacher. So bringing the whole experience together, and this is the point of the sharing today, is that there are three key elements to vibrant health and conscious well-being as I see it. And these are the small pearls of wisdom that I use in my life and that I'd like to share with you as a unique individual, as a parent, and guiding through our next generation of children who are like us all, entering into a new world. But I believe that our children are wired for this new world. It's we that need now to step forward and find our own courage to make changes to our own being, our own behaviours, our own lifestyle, to listen to the wisdom of our children as they grow, to grow in connection with family, to grow in connection with the wider community, our wider networks, and to grow into the wisdom that Mother Earth, that the world holds for us, and the gifts that Mother Earth brings forward. So let's go back to the three keys as I see them. And the first key is self-responsibility. Now, when we use the word self, or when I use the word self, I'm not talking about being selfish here. I'm talking about really reconnecting back with yourself first. We hear time and again when we go on aircrafts that we put our own mask on first before we help others. And this is really a deep wisdom. And moving into the heart. The heart is a pump. It pumps blood around the body. It pumps the nutrients of the life force that we take from the world into our body and transcends it to all the cells to keep us alive and well and vibrant. But the heart actually takes the key bits, the key elements of the blood first before it pumps it out into the body, because it needs to be well, it needs to be strong, it needs to be healthy to continue to do what it does throughout the whole of our life, and may that life be long and well for all of us. So it takes the first wave of blood into the coronary arteries that surround the heart, because the heart is a muscle and it needs to be able to work like any muscle, otherwise it gets cramp, and that's where we get these feelings of tightness in our chest if we haven't got enough oxygen to our heart. So taking self-responsibility, using the analogy of the heart, is not a selfish act. It's an act that is imperative for our own well-being. So when we care for ourselves, so let's start with courage. It's the courage to step forward and go, it is okay to look after myself. If I look after myself, I can look after others. So the self-responsibility. The next element is self-care. Caring for ourselves is the primary responsibility of each of us. And there is such a wealth of knowledge out there. Sometimes incredibly confusing. I certainly get very confused by what is good for me and what isn't, because someone else is telling me what is good for me and what isn't. But if we step back from what other people are telling us about what's good for me, is to start to really notice, and this is where mindfulness is such a beautiful practice, to start to really, really notice the uniqueness of your own mind, body, emotional system, and feel what is good for you. So feeling the feelings of, if I do this, it doesn't make me feel happy, or it makes me feel agitated or depressed, it makes me feel sad. If I eat this particular thing, how do I feel afterwards? Do I feel enlivened? Do I feel tired? None of this is right or wrong, it's simply about the noticing. And doing what's in accord with what makes you feel well. So the first key is self-responsibility. The second key is self-care. And the third key is self-awareness. Self-awareness. Awareness comes, I see the word awareness in many ways. It's awareness, it's consciousness, it's mindfulness. I believe those words are come from the same root. It's about really starting to notice now, starting to really key in to ourselves, particularly at this time of change. So what does that mean? It means, I believe, is embracing a practice of mindfulness. It's simple, it's easy, and mindfulness brings in these three elements. Firstly, you are taking responsibility by taking a little bit of time out in your day, and this can simply be a couple of minutes for the maximum benefit, really, 10, 15, 20 minutes a day. But simply getting started, a few minutes is enough, because you've set the intention to take yourself away from activity for a few moments, and move from doing into being. And being means being in this present moment, away from the chattering mind. Even though it will continue to chatter, we start to learn to hear the chattering mind. So moving from activity to being is pretty important, because as my teachers have shown me, and I know for myself, that the excess activities of our life now, with the huge array of information that we have access to, keeps our nervous system in a state of alert, high alert. And with the news and the media that we are bombarded with, if we choose to watch it, and that's another point, we can choose not to, we can choose to stay informed, but not necessarily flow with the sheer volume of information coming in. So with meditation and mindfulness, as we start to settle down our nervous systems, we start to become more aware of these choices that nourish us or don't. So this is where self-care comes in, and I use mindfulness, awareness and consciousness in a way that I can remember, and I hope this will help you to remember some of the self-care practices. So let's look at awareness, and let's look at the last four letters of NES. NES. So N is for the awareness of the nutrition. What is good for you, and what doesn't necessarily give you that same amount of energy. Kind of, in a way, it doesn't matter what you eat. It's if you really requiring more energy in your life, which is the next letter, E for energy. So good nutrition, and it's advocated a more plant-based, locally sourced, fresh plate of food, which has the energy within it, because our food is alive when it's fresh, to give us the energy to perform in this world with the greatest of vigour. So N for nutrition, E for energy, and exercise is very important. And as we know, our Prime Minister now says, starting today we can exercise, or starting on Wednesday, we can exercise as much as we want. So let's take advantage of that. And exercise doesn't necessarily mean running or tennis, or all those activities. I mean, those are wonderful activities, but the exercise can be simple exercises where you don't have to go very far. So yoga, qigong, tai chi, these exercises, hula hooping, kids playing in the garden, running, jumping, shaking, these are wonderful energizing exercises. I do prefer to keep things fairly simple, so a few minutes, 10 minutes of simple exercising for strength and for stability and for flexibility as well. So N for nutrition, locally sourced, good, fresh food, freshly cooked as far as possible. E for energy and exercise. The first S for stress reduction. That's huge. We're in a position of what we're calling at the moment the Great Pause, and it's an amazing place to be, where we've had this this gift, scary and challenging as it is, to actually take a reflective pause in our lives, to reconnect with ourselves, with our families, and probably become a lot more aware of those stressors in our life that have been there, probably without us realising. Now, with mindfulness practices, we are very aware that stress can be dealt with, to the extent, firstly, we're aware of it. Secondly, when we connect with our breath, and we'll do a short practice of this in a moment, we can settle down our nervous system so that our stress response switches to a response called rest and digest, the relaxation response. So let's just wind back. So awareness, the NES is N for nutrition, E for exercise and energy, S for stress reduction, and the final S is for sleep. Now, we spend about a third of our life asleep, and hopefully we can all get a little more sleep now. Sleep is very, very nurturing. It's very restorative. It is a good night's sleep is like nothing else, because you wake up the next day feeling refreshed and well. So a couple of tips about good sleep is, we know about good sleep hygiene, about, you know, turning off your phones beforehand and not having too many blue lights in, and winding down before you go to sleep. But a really nice way to go to sleep is to what we call recapitulate about the activities of the day, and to just rewind like a little video in your mind of all the things that have happened in the day, and you know, good, or things that you've really got to consider again. But then once you've gone through that like little video, and it may take only a couple of minutes, let it all go, and then go into this state of restful awareness where you connect with the breath. Because as we settle down, breathing quietly and slowly in this restful place is really it's very, very simple. And we were taught as kids to count sheep, you know, to have these images in your mind of taking yourself away from doing the activities of the day into being, moving into sleep. And then sleep itself. Sleep is a way of detoxifying the brain, the mind, the body, and as we move into this restful sleep, into the dreamland, into the rapid eye movement, into the whole body settling down, when we awaken in the morning, there's often dreams that we have which are charming, or something that's maybe happened in your sleep. And we're taught through the teachings of Ayurveda and mindfulness to remember, are there little things in our dreams that are interesting, and maybe have a little book by the side of your bed and capture some of those. But when you wake up, remember your dreams, and then capture them or let them go. But a really nice way to start the day is not necessarily through an alarm clock, because that alarms your system straight away. Is through waking up naturally, which you will if you are in this restorative sleep pattern. I would suggest giving gratitude as soon as you wake up. So firstly, waking up, and by simply saying to yourself, "Well, you know, it's another day, so thank you. I'll have another chance at another day," and taking a few moments to wake up gently, because this sets the nervous system for the day. So I think that's enough about NES. So going back, just a little recap is self-responsibility is the key to good, vibrant health. Taking responsibility for your own care through nurturing nutrition, exercise, energy, stress relief and sleep. And with the keys to self-awareness of what is nourishing to you and what is nourishing to your family, and you instantly radiate this out because you have this settledness within. So that's my little talk, and I hope this has just added a few moments of reflection for yourself after the busy day of all the beautiful learnings on this day of the Positive Empowered Family Day. And to complete this, I'd like to lead you in just a very short meditation for the experience of feeling centered, and also embracing everything that you've learnt or shared or been in harmony with. So shall we do this? So let's first sit back and take a place of comfort. And to do this, I suggest putting your feet flat on the floor, or if you're sitting on the floor, just getting your knees in a nice position, or if you're lying down, in fact, lying flat with just a small pillow supporting your head. The next point is, if you're sitting for more than a few minutes, I suggest becoming very conscious of your spine, and I'm doing that as I'm saying this. Is sitting straight, because your spine's in this beautiful S shape. So sitting straight, not hunched like this, putting your shoulders back a little, and noticing the position of your head on your neck, and just putting your chin down just a little bit. So for a few minutes of practice, we're now in this shape, this state of alignment. And if you should like to do this, close your eyes, or if you prefer, lower your gaze, but soften your eyes. And what we're going to do is we're going to simply notice the natural breath. How are you breathing in this moment? So the attention is on the breath. There's no need to judge this in any way. We're simply noticing. Mindfulness is about awareness. It's about noticing. So notice how you're breathing, and then notice your position. And notice if you're comfortable. And if you're not comfortable, then just simply change your position to one of comfort, because we all are so different. So sitting very straight with your chin down may not be comfortable for you in this moment. Find out what makes you feel comfortable and move into that position. And with your families next to you, you may be cuddling up to someone in your family. There's nothing nicer than being in close contact with others. Your eyes are closed. How are your hands? Where are your hands at the moment? We're just noticing. For this, we often say just rest your hands on your lap gently, maybe one hand in the other. Just notice, are your hands or your arms comfortable? And then in this place, just move your shoulders back just a little bit more so that you've got an expansion in your heart space. And we call the heart space around the chest. So let's put a little smile on our lips, and the young family as well. Smile on our lips. When we put a smile on our lips, we start to move into the higher hormones, the oxytocin, the serotonin, those hormones. So with a smile on our lips, let's take a longer, slower breath in, and a longer, slower breath out. Now that breath may just be within your chest at the moment, that's fine. Or it may be a little lower, it may be in the area that you can feel it in the belly. So if your attention's here on the belly, just relax the belly a little. Let it go. Let your belly move in and out. And feel as you breathe in and out, you may want to put your hands on your tummy here. Just feel that gentle rise and fall of the tummy as you breathe in and out. Can you feel it? Simply noticing. Because as we take a longer, slower breath in, we start to relax. Now let's bring our attention to the space where our heart, our chest is moving in and out. Maybe put your hand there. Maybe notice you've still got that smile on your lips. And let's talk to ourselves quietly, silently. And I'm going to give you a few words, a few sentences for you to say to yourself. And the first one is, I am a lovely person. And believe this to be true, because it is. I am a lovely person. I am a beautiful person. I am a beautiful person. And beauty rests within. I am a happy person. I am a happy person. Just saying these simple, positive affirmations to yourself and knowing these to be true really changes everything. So as we're breathing into our heart and we're breathing out through our heart, remember these 3 sentences, or whichever works for you, and believe those to be true, because they are. We are in this world to find great joy and great happiness, and we do this through being centered, to radiating out these feelings of peace and love and joy for ourselves. And when we've filled our heart, as we talked about at the beginning, we have that capacity to share this with others. So bring yourself forward first, give yourself that gift of time. And when you do that, give yourself those gifts of nutrition, good nutrition for you and your family, for exercising for you and then your family together, for finding those moments of peaceful mindfulness for stress relief, and then having a good night's sleep, helping our children into coziness, into a good night's sleep, and to do that for ourselves. And then when we awaken in the morning to another fresh, beautiful day, the birds singing, connecting with Mother Nature, bit by bit everything starts to slot into place beautifully, and we start to make those really very simple changes in our own lives. So I thank you for listening. I hope there have been a few little seeds in there that you can take forward in your own lives, and into the lives of your beloved families, your children, your grandchildren, your parents. We're all in this together, and as we move into this emerging world, which we're seeing with all its beauty, in a place of strength, because we have a practice that makes us strong, makes us centered, and in this sense of peacefulness and love radiating into ourselves and to others, we can make those small changes for ourselves in the world, and yeah, all join together. So I thank you for listening, I thank you for the experience, and I hope to stay in touch with you and wish you well. So this is Sue Cooper signing off, and thank you.